everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole. I am a 33-year-old cash budgeter in Virginia. I am a stay-at-home mom to two littles, and I'm currently on a journey to become debt-free as well as just more financially stable. Today we are going to be looking at our next pay period's budget for our bills, as well as go ahead and plan out October's bills with the highlighter method that is most commonly referenced by the budget mom um, and her budget by paycheck plan. So I am using my big happy planner and kind of um, going to go through and make our October layout, which I did go ahead and write my bills in and sticker it, but we have not highlighted yet. We will do that part together. I just went ahead and pre-filled some things out just to save on time. Alrighty, so we are going to be looking at the 25th paycheck today. And because of how we do our bills, the technically last paycheck of the month tends to be our first paycheck of the next month, which is why we are also going to be looking at September. So let me get my notes out because, of course, okay, so I did already pre-write out some of this, and we already figured out that for the 25th, we are going to be paying student loan, care credit, cell phone, Peacock, and Disney from the month of September. That's everything in this like burnt orange color. So all together, I will say, I've already made our care credit payment. So I just want to check that off. I've already made that payment because we had $240 altogether from the month of September, and you saw me stuff the finished challenge that we did for this past weekend's savings. I went ahead and I stuffed that um, while we did our savings challenges, and I did make that payment today actually. So that's already taken care of. And then the rest of these, the student loan, the cell phone, Peacock, and Disney are all auto withdrawals. And I will say Peacock, I believe this month, I need to check it, but this month it should still only be $2. And if it is $2, I will keep it for another month. But if it's not $2, I will be canceling it because we are not using it anymore. We were using Peacock to watch something specific, or my husband was, and we're not anymore. So that may or may not happen. We will see. So all of those together, the student loan is 66, cell phone is 127, Peacock should be 2, and our Disney bundle, so it's Disney, Hulu, and ESPN is 17, I think. Okay, so then let's go into October and see what else we are lumping in. Make sure we're still in frame. Yes, I have my camera propped up a little bit higher than I normally do. So, all right, let's get our orange. And automatically, everything that falls within this pay period is going to get paid. So that's going to be our Cloud and Kindle, which is $3 and $12. Our utilities, this is just our electric, water, and trash. Those, do I have the numbers for those? I do. I think our electricity is 160, our water is 82, and our trash was 39. Okay, we have our Capital One card, which we are paying $115 towards. Old Navy does not have a balance, so we will highlight that in gray at the end. Our Citi card is also going to be getting $115, and The second Capital One card is going to be getting $105. So that is everything that we have to pay. And we are only at $843, which is quite low. So we are also going to pay our gas bill, which is $104. We're on a budget plan for our gas. I didn't end up ending it because we're getting into our heat season soon, so I just want to see how it changes. And then we are going to do half of our mortgage. So how do I want to write that? Let's go back to September and I will write it on this side. Let's just write half mortgage on the payday. So some months it makes sense for us to break up our mortgage depending on how the dates fall. And other months it does not make sense for us to do that. So it just kind of depends on how the dates fall, because we were like 2 weeks ahead. We were like a pay period ahead, but now we are not, because we're going to split up our mortgage. So when we don't split up our mortgage, we split up our debt instead. And so we will pay like all of the debt for the month on that first paycheck of the month, and then the next paycheck is pretty much we'll pay our whole mortgage and maybe like a couple odds and ends. And then that makes us kind of like a month ahead in our debt. But the way it's working out for October, that's not how I want to do it. We're going to split up the mortgage instead, because on this payday, the 9th, is when we're going to when we would pay our mortgage. And we have a lot, most of our like debt payments are in that middle of the month, but also we have a good amount of auto withdrawals as well. And so I just didn't feel comfortable doing it this time. So half of our mortgage is going to be $625, and that puts us at $1,572, which is different than my notes. So hold on a second. What did I do? Okay, let me add all this up real quick. Okay, so I figured it out. It was not a mistake on my end. It was a mistake in my notes. So all of our bills are going to be $1,572 for this pay period, which makes me a little nervous because that is quite a bit lower than what they normally are. But we've paid some things off, and I'm going to do my best to save the majority of that. So we'll just see how it happens. So that is $1,572. Now let's look at our payday on the 9th, which is going to be, we're going to use this purple color. Okay, so where's my pen? This is going to be half mortgage is going to be with this pay period. So let's start over. So that's $600. Our lovely HVAC system that we are paying for, our Lowe's credit card, our bank credit card, YouTube TV, our Wi-Fi and pest control, our insurance has gone down, so that is going to be $147 now. Netflix is $18. Amazon Prime is $15. Ulta does not have a balance. Silver is currently the card that I am using as our spending card. So I will not have a minimum payment on that card, but it's paid off. It's just going to be my spending card. So I have it written down just in case we fall behind, but you will see in my cash planning that I'm going to be putting money towards that card every pay period, basically. So we're not ever going to have a minimum payment unless I need to add extra because we've fallen behind. So I did just want to write the due date on here just to remind me. Um, our Kohl's card is also paid off, but I did do a transaction last night actually, for about $100 for some clothes for my husband and my kids. And I'm hoping that it will be paid off again by the time the due date comes, and to where I won't have to worry about the payment due date, but I did want to write it down just in case. Um, our loan will be taking out. The direct deposit for my son will take out. Chase, I'm going to leave blank. That is my business credit card, which theoretically is going to be paid with my Etsy Pay now. Um, Etsy Pay is getting a little weird. August was a great month. September has been a little slow, so I may have to throw some money at my Chase card with my husband's paycheck, depending on how things go. But for now, I'm just going to leave it blank. And then we're at the next payday. So I stopped adding stuff up. So let's add some stuff up again and see where we're at money-wise. All right, we're at 1527, and my American Express card, I just wanted to see where we were at. And I wanted to put $100 towards my American Express card for the month of October. I currently have $68 put aside for it already. So we're just gonna, as for budgeting purposes, we'll say $32, which will make it that $100. And if we need that $32 once it's time to pay it, it will be in the budget. If we don't need it, because I've been able to put more to the side, depending on our savings challenges, then it'll just go to something else. So altogether, that is $15.59 for this pay period, which is pretty even with our $9.25 pay period, so that's okay. And so now let's go ahead and start the highlight for the pay period on the 23rd. For this pay period, this one is going to be yellow, and this one is going to finish up November, or I'm sorry, finish up October and start November. And it will go from the 23rd through the, let's see, 6th, I think, right? 23rd, the 30th, the 6th, so the 5th. So for math purposes, we will just use up here and add everything from the 5th. Let's go ahead and highlight these as well. So Ulta does not have a balance. So, and I don't plan on it having a balance. So we're going to leave that. Like I said, the silver, Kohl's, and Chase. Chase hopefully will be with Etsy. So I will circle that and make a note. And then silver and Kohl's hopefully won't have a balance or need a minimum payment or anything like that paid on them, because they are paid off technically. In girl math, they are paid off. Okay, so also my Credit One card is now paid off, so I do not need to worry about the Credit One card, unless I will say, let me look at my notes. I did budget $10 for Credit One because just in case, because we just paid it off in September, so just in case they throw another extra like little interest payment or something like that that needs to be done, I have that covered technically in the budget. And I also think that this Credit One card has a monthly fee of like $8. This Credit One card, y'all, I hate it. It's a card I got when I was like 18 years old, so like a long time ago. And it's just been a revolving card. It's been one that it's not even, it's in my maiden name still. Like I literally have only used that card for emergencies at this point. Um, so I do think that is one that I want to cancel because it has that monthly fee, unless I want to put my bills on it, like use it for like auto draft for some bills that, and then I'll just pay it. But I don't feel like I should have a card that has a monthly payment, even if it's only $8, when there's so many other card options that do not have those payments. So the Credit One company, now that I paid it off, is trying to get me to open a new account, and I'm like resisting because I don't need any more accounts. Um, but I also, I know the thing, when you close a card, it hurts your credit as well. So I'm not really worried about like my credit score right now because like I don't personally have plans to need to do anything. Because that card isn't, like I said, that one's in my name, but just because I still don't necessarily want to take that hit if I don't have to. So I'll have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do with that card. But for now, a little $10 is going to be in the budget for it. But I'm marking it as gray because like it does not have a balance. Care credit is in this pay period, and this will hopefully be a very big payment. But for now, from our budget, we're just going to budget $30, which is technically the minimum payment on the card, because we will add more on top of that with our savings challenges and money put to the side. Um, and I have to check, but it's either this is the last pay or November is the last pay. Before I know our interest kicks in November. I just need to go look at the date and write that down as a reminder for me as well. Student loan is an auto. That's in this one. Our flex, y'all, this bill, we have a flex line of credit through our bank that has helped us like just get quick, easy cash with like we have a pretty decent interest rate. We're able to, I don't know, I don't know if you know about flex lines, but it was better than getting like a different type of loan when we needed it. But the payment for our flex line is $450. It's a big one. That's partially why I want to get some of these other smaller ones taken care of, because that $450 is rough. And again, Peacock may or may not be here for October, but we're going to keep it for right now. And then, okay, so then now let's look at everything from up until the 5th. So it would be Cloud and Kendall would take out our utilities, these three. I'm going to budget, let's see. Our electricity should be going down. So let's just say 200 for those. That could be completely off. But we'll see. This is just for highlighting purposes. My husband's Capital One card, we do 115 on that. And then my city card, we do 115 on that. So that is 1147. And then, so we will have more to add to November. I don't want to go that far right now, in case something changes. But so far, we are looking good. That pay period in itself is way below what my bills for that or for our pay periods typically are. So I am fine leaving it like that for now. And then when we do our November spread, we will finish this payday. and we will look at everything, and we will either add half of our mortgage, which based off of this is a little high to add half our mortgage. See, if we add half the mortgage, it ends up being over $1,700, which usually I don't like it to go over $1,700 just for this, unless we know we're going to have um, like heavy overtime on that check. But pretty much that this means what I will most likely end up doing is this will be a month where I end up splitting, and I would end up paying our debt, or November would end up being a month where instead of splitting our mortgage, we would actually pull our debt payments and pay those early during that pay period. And then the following pay period would just be our mortgage and some miscellaneous auto withdrawals like our insurance and subscriptions and stuff like that. Um, okay, so there's that. Now, what I want to do is I want to actually do a little bit of some cash planning for this coming pay period, the 25th. And so let me put this away and let's do I will do some math off camera because, my husband doesn't specifically like for me to share our or his income, but obviously, um, you can get a general idea of what the income is when I do these types of things. Um, so I will put this away. I will get out my cash planning sheet and then we will go from there. So I realized that before we can do our cash planning, we need to unstuff our expenses from um, this past pay period. I am not going to be super concerned about anything that would be a sinking fund yet because we still have our savings challenges that we need to finish, um, which hopefully will help go towards um, those. So, where did here it goes. I put my highlighter away. So we are going to be looking at everything from our spending, and we definitely did a good amount of spending, and I definitely think we are going to have some rollover as I get adjusted to this new like way of doing what am I saying? This new way of doing our budget with the like credit card payback method. Um, so I just have to figure that out. But basically, the reason I need to do this is because for our expenses, I don't want to put us in more debt because of our expenses, period. Um, so if I do not have the money to cover our main expenses, then I will be taking the difference, and that is going to then come out of this paycheck. So for sure, I know like all of our grocery needs to get paid back this pay period because I did not budget for our grocery last pay period because I mess it up every time. I cannot get a grocery budget to save my life. So let's actually do that first. Let's figure out how much we owe for grocery. Let me get a sticky note. I can't believe I didn't have a sticky note out and ready. Okay, so our groceries, and a disclaimer, I am filming this on Monday, so we don't get paid till Thursday, so we still have today, Tuesday, and Wednesday where we would potentially be spending money, so these numbers could change. I'm trying to hold off on going to the grocery store, which is another reason why I started doing the payback method, because depending on like how our weeks go, I don't go to the grocery store on the same day every week or every month because it just doesn't work for our family. I need to be able to go at any time and not worried about if I have the money for it right then. I do want to stick to more of like a monthly budget with our groceries versus um, a weekly budget. So I am going to work on that. But for now, this is just what we're going to try. Let me make sure we're in frame. Okay. So let's find, I think I'd already, okay. So I'm going to write silver, which is the credit card that most of these expenses were were used for or spent on, however, whatever that terminology is. So from the silver card, we did 45, 19, and 106. So that was our main grocery. So we did 170 in our main grocery. And then I also have a 91 right here that was on my city card, which means that was Costco. And the reason it did it that way is because I just realized that Costco does not take MasterCard as a credit. It only takes Visa as a credit. And my Capital One Silver card is a MasterCard. So I can't use that card when I go to Costco. So I will need to budget that differently from now on. That either needs to come out of my bank account or cash, or I need to definitely make sure I have the money for Costco because my city card has a high balance on it and I don't want to accidentally be adding grocery expenses to that card if for some reason I don't pay it back. So I definitely need to be careful about that. So altogether that was $261. I know for a fact I do not have that in those envelopes because like I said, I did not budget. I believe I put $50 to the side as a cushion for this first pay period. So that leaves $211 in grocery. So we are going to tentatively write groceries. I said two. Let's just do 215 just to make it a little easier. That will come from our cash planning and I will pay it back. Okay. Now let's get to the other stuff. Let's go ahead and let me try not to tilt you guys. We will highlight these. I had to white out a bunch of stuff right here, so it's going to make highlighting that area challenging. So let's just go line by line, and so this rollover section right here, I'm hoping to pay back. That was what we were short last month. No, not last month, last pay period, I think. But again, I don't know what to do about that. So let's just focus on what we can do and then go from there. It's still there because obviously I do want to take care of it, but so baby is in the expenses binder, but I'm not going to be worrying about baby right now because the baby that I'm paying back this $40 right here. That's what that's for. And I only have 20 in it so far. So we will need to budget at least another $20 into our baby category. All right, I'm just going to do like this so that it's not super flopping around. I know it's going to be confusing though. And then that will take care of this one. Buffer, this needs to come out. Well, no, leave that in there. Buffer doesn't get budgeted. This is just where, so the buffer is money that if I need to pay back our bank account, I put it in here. But with this money that I needed to pay back our account with, I ended up just transferring it. So I do need to put that money back still. Childcare. This is where I'm considering having a rollover because look, I have not sent my daughter to her babysitters at all this pay period. So this is $50. This is $50 of free money that I could potentially pull this pay period. So for now, I'm not even going to budget that. I'm not going to budget anything for that. Costco. So here is the 25. We need to add this. So where is my Costco one? We're going to write 25 right here for when we add it up, that is going to help with that payment that we're going to do. All right, eating out. Let's add up some eating out. Oh, because for this pay period, I combined all of our eating out into one big section, and we budgeted. I never did my trackers, so those are all wrong. I believe I budgeted $150. 20, 40, 60, 80, 150. Yes, I budgeted $150. So let's see if we stayed on budget. So we did. I will say my husband did really good this pay period. He did not eat out like on his own very much at all. But he also hasn't been feeling very well. So that definitely contributed to the fact that he did not spend as much as he normally does. But I spent way more than I normally do. The coffees were getting me so bad this pay period. Okay, so we are at 132. Y'all, what? That just made me so happy. Okay, let me cross these off. Whoops, I normally don't do the date. We actually stayed under our food budget. That is insane. And that means we'll have a tiny bit of rollover that I can put towards this one right here. This is words. This was a birthday dinner slash gift. We went out to dinner on my husband's birthday, but we went as a big family, like my in-laws. We took our in-laws out for their anniversary. It just happened to fall on my husband's birthday. So yes, we went out to eat and we ate out, but we only did that for a special occasion. So that's why obviously it's a higher price because we were paying for some extra people. But since we are under budget as of right now, this could definitely change because like I said, we still have 3 days. And as I'm recording this, I have no idea what I'm making for dinner tonight. So there is definitely a chance that we will still go over budget, but I'm happy to say that even with combining our eating out between me, my husband, and us together, we were under budget. That literally never happens. Between groceries and our eating out, we go over budget every single time. So maybe doing it this way is going to work for us. I would be so hopeful. Okay, 18. And I need to get my little ones out. I have some ones in here. Let's see. This is my cash or change maker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just do 10, 15, 20, and I'll take this 20. Okay. Oops. My little sticky note of what that money is. This is money that is in our just general, it's our cash buffer technically, but it's money that I pay back every pay period, so that I have change as well. and I use it for my savings challenges. So 5, 10, 15. I'm about to take all of it. 16, 17, 18. Okay. So we're going to leave $18, which is enough for a couple more coffees. Just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Gas. I know I got gas yesterday. And I got exactly $30 because that is what I budgeted. So I know we're good on there. And my husband's gas, I was able to keep his $50 in gas in our bank account untouched for him to use. Here's this 25 that I put in for grocery. Where did that go? Let's just put it here. That one. Okay. Health. How much do we have in here? 25. Can I do? Yes, we did one for 20. I can take care of that one. No, there's a second one though, 11. So we are going to be a little bit short right there. So I'm not going to mark that one off. So I will make sure we put some money. I'm not sure how much yet, but let me make a note for health on here. Okay. Household, we didn't do anything for. I'm trying to create a little bit of a buffer for that. My husband, kiddos, was $12. How much did they do? Okay, so I can pull that 12 from them. And what was that? Do I remember what that was? I don't even know at this point. I know I found, oh, I think it was some new art stuff for my son. He likes to do the water paints right now. So I think I got him some water paints. And then pet care is 26 and we had 30. So we can take that and put $4. All right. Okay. Okay, so those are the expenses that we needed to unstuff. Whoops. And we did pretty good. Let's see, the ones that we have left. Oops, why won't this shut? There we go. The ones that we have left are vehicles, which is in our sinking funds. Health, we were short on this one, so we'll need to budget extra. Home is in our sinking funds. Clothing is in our sinking funds. The birthday and birthday dinner, I'm going to need to figure that one out. And then this was that Kohl's transaction I talked about that I did last night as well. So those are obviously sinking funds. So hopefully those will be for, we can make up for that in some savings challenges. So let's see how much we should have here now. Let's add all this up. $270. Okay, let's see. Minus 50. 20, 40, 60, 81. 20, 40, 60, 80. Minus 180. 10, 20, 30. Oop. Minus 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, I'm $4 over. I have $4 too much. Where was I supposed to put that $4? Did I put it? Oh, it was supposed to go in pet care. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we should have the 270. And then now let's figure out how much of that needs to go back into our bank buffer. 6, 10, that's this section up here, 26, 23, 11, 9. Okay, so 85. Let's just do 20, whoops, 40, 60, 85. So this will go into the buffer. Is this tracker correct? Yes, this tracker is correct. I will add that on here. If I have my Sharpie. Okay, so I have a lot of small bills. Let's see. Well, we'll just leave it for right now. I'll do a condensing after we get paid. 20, 40, 60, 81, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 132 for our buffer. Hopefully that is what it's supposed to be. 85 plus 47 is 132. Okay. So come payday, if I haven't put this in the bank already, I will just transfer this from our paycheck into our savings account and then pull this cash and reuse it as part of our cash stuffing, if that makes sense. I do a lot of cash reusing. Okay, so then the rest of this needs to go, where is the credit card payback one? Needs to go here except for $25. Oops. Needs to go into my city section, and then the rest of this. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 140, 150, 160. Is that right? Yes. So 160, right? Yes. We'll also be going back to our credit card. Okay. All right, so that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So for video purposes, I am going to end this one here. And then what I will do is I will film our cash stuffing and if there's any more unstuffing that I need to do from these next couple days of the pay period, I will do that on that same video and then pull our rollover money to see if we're going to have any rollover for savings challenges. So we'll do all of that in the next video. But this one I think is already getting a little bit long. So thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed and could like this video, leave me a comment below, and then of course subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.